So you've gone through your pre-med years, you've done your biochems, your OChems, you've done your physics, you've gotten clinical experience, you've gotten volunteer experience, you've gotten research experience. You've proven to yourself, your family, and your friends that you want to be a doctor and you're going to be a good doctor. But now you have to prove it in writing to an admissions committee who's never met you before. This is one of the most important parts of the entire application, but it doesn't have to be the scariest. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to give you guys some of my advice for writing your personal statements, and I've also teamed up with my friends over at Motivatemd to give you guys some tips as well. For those of you guys who've been following my channel, you know I've worked with Motivatemd in the past, and I am absolutely stoked that they're working with me to give you guys tips for your personal statements. So let's get started. We're going to share some tips with you guys, and I'm also going to share a little bit of my own personal statement as well. So at its core, the personal statement is a persuasive essay. You're basically convincing the admissions committee of your worth as an applicant. My friends over at Motivatemd and I both agree that the best way to tackle the personal statement is to break it down into two questions. The first question is, why do you want to be a physician? And the second question is, why will you be a great physician? And because this is a persuasive essay, you want to start off with a hook. You need to grab the reader's attention because they've read a lot of different personal statements and you want to make sure that you keep them engaged. For example, the beginning of my personal statement was a couple sentences related to a position I was in with a patient, and it was a pretty intense circumstance, and it was kind of like one of the deciding factors of why I wanted to become a doctor. Starting with a good story that's unique to you is a great way to grab their attention. You then want to transition into your thesis, which is just going to be a couple of sentences answering the questions I mentioned before. And when it comes to the body paragraphs, the order of what you do is up to you, but you want it to reflect the thesis. One way to go is spending your first body paragraph talking about why you want to become a physician, and then spending the next one or two body paragraphs talking about what will make you a great physician. Or you can spend each paragraph talking about one reason why you wanted to go into medicine, and then finishing each paragraph with the reason that that's going to make you a good doctor. So I personally went with the first example where I basically talked about my experiences with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, how that kind of led to me deciding I wanted to become a doctor, and then I spent the next paragraph or two talking about the qualities that I developed over time that I know is going to make me a good physician. And don't forget that using stories is kind of key here because you want to do a lot of showing and not telling. So like I said earlier in my personal statement, I talked a lot about my volunteer experience with Make-A-Wish Foundation, and even though I was telling them stories about my experience, I was also telling them how I learned these values of giving, hope, strength, and joy to your patients as a volunteer, and that's kind of what led me into wanting to become a physician. So I was basically showing them that by learning those traits as a volunteer, it's something that I'll be able to spread as a physician. And I also told some stories about some of the patients I got to see while I was doing my clinical experiences and how I learned some lessons from those experiences, whether it's from the doctor or some sort of aspect of healthcare. And again, because I was able to tell those stories in my personal statement, it shows the admissions committee that I'm going to take those values with me as a physician. And that leads me to the next tip. You need to make sure that you're using active examples. Shadowing physicians and talking about the qualities that they have that you want to display in yourself as a physician someday as well is great and all, but you also want to tell the admissions committee how you've actively shown your ability to demonstrate those traits and passions. So one of the stories in my personal statement included the fact that I was able to work with a psychiatrist, and there was a certain aspect of mental health that I learned about through him, and I was able to actually apply that to a situation that I was in a little bit later. Now, when it comes to the conclusion paragraph, there shouldn't be any new information here. You want to conclude your argument with a rewritten version of your thesis and answering the questions, why medicine, and why you will be a great physician. And so I'm going to read you guys my actual concluding paragraph. I believe that I can provide an exceptional level of care by combining the emotional support skills I learned as a Make-A-Wish volunteer with the skill set and education of a doctor. I explored other healthcare professions by shadowing physical therapists, scribing for nurse practitioners and physician assistants, but found that the level of care, autonomy, and expertise that physicians have are most in line with my goals. Pursuing a career as a doctor will allow me to restore health, inspire hope, and instill happiness on some of the darkest days in a patient's life. I wish kids taught me that anyone can be a superhero. As a doctor, I want to continue to be that superhero by embodying the Wish Grantor mission statement to enrich the human experience with hope, strength, and joy. So again, I finished with why medicine and what aspects will make me a good doctor. If you guys like some of these tips, I highly recommend you go check out my friends over at Motivatemd. Motivatemd provides advice and reviews that are custom tailored to each applicant. They have seen the admissions process from a student's perspective, and they have edited so many different personal statements that they have really identified what makes a student memorable and what makes them competitive. And they have talked to many different admissions committees to see what makes a student's essay successful. In fact, their team consists of medical students, doctors, and editors who have been on admissions committees. Their core editing team represents the top 5% of applicants. Their team's diverse experiences in medicine, admissions, English, and writing is exactly why they can provide such unique advice. And I want to tell you guys about their ultimate acceptance package. The Ultimate Acceptance Package is a $1,200 all-encompassing package for pre-med students who want to highly optimize their time and increase their chances of getting into medical school. This package was designed and led by elite medical students who know exactly what it takes. In this package, you will get unlimited personal statement reviews, unlimited AMCAS activity essay reviews, secondary essay editing to your top 7 schools, which can be up to like 21 different prompts. You also get medical school mock interviews, which consist of the MMI and traditional styles. And you get constant communication with your editors. This is a really awesome all-encompassing package that is really going to help you hit every single important part of your primary application. And it's not even just the primary application, but it's also going to prepare you for those interviews as well. Like seriously, unlimited reviews on your personal statement is absolutely killer. And since they're also looking at your activity essays and your secondary essays, you literally have all your essays covered. And overall, Motivatemd offers very customizable packages that really fits every student's needs. And if you guys have any questions at all, my good friend Becca is literally always here for you. Like seriously, feel free to text or call Becca with any questions you guys have. I'm gonna have her number somewhere here on the screen as well as in the description box below. If you choose to work with Motivatemd, Becca is always here to help you out. And Motivatemd has also been nice enough to give you guys 15% off on any of their packages using my coupon code Sean15. Seriously guys, Motivatemd is doing amazing things for pre-med students and I'm really happy I was able to work on this video with them. And that pretty much wraps up this video. I hope these tips were helpful for getting you guys started with your personal statements. I know it is a scary process to be in, but you know what? You've worked hard to get to this point. Your personal statement is a reflection of you, and I know that each and every single one of you guys is worthy enough to get into medical school. All you have to do is show that to the admissions committee. You guys have all worked so hard to be here, and the medical community needs you guys, so make sure to blow that personal statement out of the water. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video, and a huge thanks again to Motivatemd for providing all these amazing tips. Anyways guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.